Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel, and this is going to be my Oracle deck collection. It's very likely to be in multiple parts because I have quite a few decks to show you guys. But with that said, if you are new here, don't forget to like and subscribe and click the little bell so you get notified about my future videos, particularly since you'll probably want to see the other parts of this actual series I'm doing now, and I will likely put those up on my channel on different days. So definitely click all the buttons if you want to stay notified, and I'm going to jump right in. I'm actually going to start with probably one of my favorite Oracle decks of all time, and that's partly because I want to have this one out and handy because it's a great size reference card or deck as well, which I've learned when filming other videos. This is, oh, that's the bag. The Oracle deck is the Oracle of Echoes by Anna Turian. I think a lot of us by now have heard about this deck, and most of the people I've never watched a review of this where people aren't raving, and that's for a reason. For starters, Anna's artwork is absolutely breathtaking. This is done in a watercolor style, which is really lovely. But also, what's really special about this particular deck, these are the backs. You can see why I picked this bag, hey? It's really balanced. So it's got, you know, light and shadow. And if I remember correctly, I wasn't around for this process, but I believe that somebody said that when she was making this deck, she actually did reach out to the community to see if there was anything she might be missing that people would appreciate having in the deck. And so some of the more shadowier cards did find their way in based on community feedback. I find this artwork to be really evocative, and the keywords just are really, really good. I find that this deck can read just like a tarot deck. It's a standard tarot size. And what I mean by that is that I could put this into any tarot spread and get really meaningful messages from it. And I think that's partly because it's so balanced. And there's so much richness to the artwork. I mean, look at this Awaken. I'm going to bring that in and zoom. And focus. There we go. This is a stunning image. It's like that inner dragon that's just rising up. And all of the cards are like this, just really rich with meaning. So, so good. I won't show you the whole thing, but this is definitely one of my very favorite Oracle decks I've ever had, just because of its versatility, if nothing else. And yeah, it's really one that I'm quick to reach for when I'm doing any kind of deep work for clients, when we're digging into more shadowier issues or relationship issues. Oh, what am I doing? This is a really good one to reach for. So, and the tuck box is exactly the kind that I like if I'm going to have a tuck box. The fold is actually a little lower than the top of the box, and there's a thumb hole, so you can really easily just pop your card. Oh, I got my art card in the bottom. There we go. You can pop your cards in, but then when it's time to pull out, you can just actually grab them really easily. So I love that. Deck makers, if you are going to use a tuck box, that little extra feature makes a humongous difference. Anyways, oh, I needed to keep this handy, so I had a size reference, so I might as well just pull out one of these cards. There we go. Okay, I'm going to set that aside so I have it to reach for. So the next deck I'm going to show you is one that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be keeping. This was a gift, sort of a hand-me-down from a coworker who found out I was into tarot and oracle, and I'm sure some of you are gasping in shock and horror that I might pass this one along, but the reality is that I sort of know what my aesthetic is when it comes to animal decks and just artwork in general, and I find that if the artwork is not enticing enough for me or vivid enough for me, that I just won't be excited to work with the deck. That being said, this is the medicine cards, of course. These are the backings of the cards. This is an older copy. It's been kicking around with my coworker for a while. And I believe this is the first printing, 1988. I can't remember, but I thought I saw somewhere that this was a first printing. It is the 1988 printing, so if that is the first printing, then there you go. I've heard that this guidebook is really, really, really good. I haven't taken the time to read it, and I may do that before I pass this one along. I haven't really decided yet. If the book is particularly incredible, then I may want to keep this around just for study. But for now, I'm pretty sure this isn't one I'm going to be working with regularly, so I haven't picked out a bag for it or anything like that. But that is the medicine cards. I'm just going to set that over there to the side. Another deck that I recently picked up that I did not resonate with is the Rumi Oracle by Alana Fairchild and artwork by Rasuli. I was kind of sad that this one didn't work out. Now, I did manage to pick this up secondhand locally, so I didn't pay a lot of money for it. And the artwork really is absolutely stunning. Rasuli's artwork is gorgeous. So again, I was really sad this one didn't work out for me, but these keywords they didn't mean anything to me. Blood Angel doesn't mean anything to me. The right choice is fine, Sacred Soul Sister I could probably work with, but then you've got Merciful Mother Jamal, and that reference doesn't mean anything to me. And I enjoy Rumi's poetry, but not in any way that I could say I'm comfortable enough with it to know these references, which makes me really heavily reliant on the guidebook. And one thing you'll probably hear me say again and again with my decks is that I like the keywords and the cards to work well as standalone. The backs are so beautiful on this deck. I kind of wish there was no borders. That would make this one prettier. But as such, I've pretty much just flipped through this deck, and I tried to work with it 1 week. And I actually forgot to mention in my deck reviews, but I swapped to a different deck within the first couple of days because I was like, no, this one's not for me. There's no point in even putting wear into the cards. I'm not gonna like it. The guidebook is really thick. It's 200 some odd pages. Yeah, like 201, but we're into advertising there. So about 200 pages. Again, if you like Alana Fairchild's decks typically, and yeah, I don't know. This one just didn't do it for me. So this one's going to be leaving my collection. I just thought I'd mention it because it hasn't left yet, and so it's still kicking around, and I thought I'd show that. Oh, my box does have a little bit of like a dent, I guess, in it. But otherwise, this is in pristine condition. I'm going to show a couple of my more unique things and see where we're at time-wise. And maybe I'll actually end it at that, but we'll see. So one of my favorite newer decks is the Animantra's Chakra Animal Oracle. I love this little deck. This won't be the first time you've heard me talk about it. I actually designed a little reading in my shop around this deck. It's a chakra self-care reading, and I just love this deck. So I have edged my book in rainbow colors to match the chakras, so I can easily flip to the right section. But the guidebook is fantastic. The cards are fantastic. The backings, I'm going to bring it into focus because I know how to do that now. Look, so pretty. And the little critters on the front are super sweet. Mine's shuffled right now so that I can draw randomly, but my favorite thing to do with this deck actually is to sort them into their respective colors and then pull a card for each chakra. I have edged this in colors to match the fronts, so it's really easy for me to separate out into their correct piles, and I like to just pull one for each chakra and then do the chakra reading that way. So I really love using it for that purpose. I don't really use this very often as the standard oracle just because I just really love pulling for all the chakras, and I'm like, I don't want to have to pick just one chakra to work with. So I really enjoy doing that, but you could definitely use it that way. The keywords are fantastic and match the animals perfectly, like tenacious for the crab, brave for the lion, elegant for the swan, adaptable for the octopus. Like, you can't get much better. Eternal for the phoenix. And I'm pretty picky, I think, about keywords, but these ones are done very, very well. So I love, love, love this little deck. Also, it's small enough to be like a purse-sized oracle deck for me to have on hand, which I really appreciate. Oh, size-wise, that's what I should have done. So I even pulled it aside. So it's little. Like, that's your standard tarot size card with the Oracle of Echoes. Animantra's Chakra Oracle deck is teeny. But they're so cute. And the cardstock is really, really good. It's thick and it holds up well. I will say that one time I tried to rifle this and I did bend a card. So it is, because it's so small, they're more likely to bend than they are to, or like crease if you're too rough with them, than they are to flex, because they're just so small and that makes them sturdier. So yeah, definitely hand over hand or shuffle this in a different way, but love that one. Another, I guess, oracle that I wanted to show you are my Animal Speak runes by Ted Andrews. These are so fantastic. So they are just painted, polished wood, but each one has an animal on it and a keyword. Bring that in closer and focus. There we go. So they're really good for just little single rune draws. Each one is an animal, and there's a couple that are special. Like this one is just Metamorphosis Change. Most of them relate to a specific animal. I think there's also a hibernation rune in here. But these feel really good, and the keywords also really make sense. And they're really the only rune set that I have right now because I haven't learned to work with standard runes yet, but I just really like these. So I have them in a nice, really big, roomy bag so I can kind of reach in and like shuffle them around in my hands and then draw one whenever I want to. And sometimes I'll toss these in as an add-on to a client reading, one for each card or whatnot. And I like that they're wood. They have a really nice feel. I'm kind of picky. If something's too light, then I'm not as big of a fan. But I just dropped one. There, I found it. So that is my Animal Speak runes. Running out of room on my table here. Another kind of little oracle that is a little different is this one. This is the Illustrated Herbal Herbiary. And these were actually in the back of the Illustrated Herbiary book, but the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to bring it in and focus again. There we go. The artwork is really good. The keywords on here is really good. The cardstock is stinky because this was the kind of cards that you had to separate manually, so they were stuck together. So it's really papery and thin, but I really, really love it. And I use these a lot when I'm doing any kind of spell work to learn more about the herbs I'm going to work with or what energies they might be bringing into my working. Or the other way around, I'll pull some cards really consciously to pull those energies in to whatever working that I'm doing. Ideally, one day I'd like to have all of these herbs in dried form in my collection so that I could work with any of them, pull random cards for things, and so forth. But yeah, I did edge these in a matching rich dark blue to match the backs, and that made their appearance look a little bit nicer, I think. And I just keep them in a little silk bag, and yeah. So that's another really different one that I have. And probably finally, maybe not finally, I've got a couple more little different ones. Okay. So I have this little mini moon deck. This came in one of my witchy subscription boxes. It's just got a card for each of the moon phases from new moon through to balsamic moon. And they each have a keyword. I actually don't use this. Oh, there goes Peggy sneezing. I love it. I don't think I made one of these longer videos without her sneezing. That's awesome. Bless you. She's still going. Oh, and Bruno's going to howl now because that's what he does. Do you hear Bruno? Oh my God, I'm dying. Okay, there we go. There's the backings. Anyways, sorry, I was saying I only use these as like basically altar cards. So I always pin one up. I have a little card holder that came in the same box as these cards did. And I actually do just post whatever the current moon phase is. And I just rotate it throughout the month. It helps me be more mindful of what the current moon phase is, which I really like. And it just feels like a nice little ritual. So I like those for that. I don't have a bag for them because they're always out. And then I also have this little Whispering Woods deck. This is just like a cute little thing. I don't use it a ton, but it is kind of sweet. And it's really meant to be just like a, what does it say that they are? Whispering Woods, Enchanting Secrets from the Forest. And it's got a little how to use. There's no written anything in here, or no booklet or anything. The artwork on the back is all exactly the same. This is the kind of deck, and I've edged it in a matching color, like this like kind of tan color. The thing about this, all you really do is you just sort of, any way you want to mix them up, you just draw one, and it has a little message. So this one says, surprises. Under the most ordinary stone is an undisturbed garden. But they're all kind of like that. They're just like little messages from the woods, just like it says. So this is cute. I usually have this kicking around somewhere near my altar so that if I'm walking by, I can just quickly draw a card, and I find that to be really fun and sweet. And lastly, but definitely not least, is my, I have to have Peggy put a new button on this bag, is my Soul Cards 1 and 2 combined. I need to do an entire video about how I work with these, and it is on my to-do list, but I've had these cards for about 20 years. You okay there, dear?
You're just super sneezing.
I've had these for a really, really long time. These are the backings. Now, I think nowadays when you get one of them, the colors are a little bit different. I think in the Soul Cards 1 or 2, it's like more reddish. Mine are both blue. They're just slightly different shades of blue. But yeah, I've had mine for a very long time, and I use these for past life readings, which so far I don't do very often for clients. I usually do this for people in my life because they tend to be very free-flowing readings that go for a very long time. I don't really know when they're going to end, so it's really hard to put any kind of, like, assign any kind of rate to that service, because sometimes I think, oh, it's going to be like a really long reading and it's over soon, and sometimes I think it's going to be really short and it takes a long time. So it's very free form. But I connected with these cards they really helped me to develop and enhance my work with my intuition. And I've gotten some really potent messages when working with these. They are so stunning. If you want to work on just really tuning into your inner truth, your inner voice, this is an excellent way to do it because there's no keywords, there's no prescribed meanings. I think that originally when I got these, there was a little booklet that just talked about ways you can use them, but there is definitely no definitions, no explanations of what the artwork is supposed to mean. You're completely on your own. And I think that that was really useful to me when I was new to tarot and oracle to have that experience. And it's still something that I'll reach for if I really want to know that I'm keying in only to my intuition. I will reach for these. And over time, some of them have started to develop some sort of foundational meanings, I guess, to me, but it still could change completely depending on who I'm reading for and what the context is. So that is Soul Cards 1 and 2 by Deborah Cove Chapin. You could also check out, there is a really wonderful interview that Simon did on his channel, The Hermit's Cave, with Deborah, and she does a live demonstration of her art as well in that video. And yeah, that's cool. I'll try to remember to put a link to that up in the cards or in the description box so you can check that out as well. But yeah, and this is in like a special padded bag with like a carry handle and everything. This is like a soul deck of sorts for sure. So that is going to be it for part 1 of my Oracle deck collection. Be sure and tune back in for part 2, which will be coming soon. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.